Hey everybody, and welcome to this tutorial on DaVinci Resolve, a professional video editing software for Windows, Mac OS, and Linux completely free to use. My name's Zach, and in the next few minutes we'll cover all the basic tools you need to know to get started using the free version. Let's open DaVinci Resolve. This displays the Project Manager, where all your projects are listed, whether stored locally or in the cloud. Head to New Project, and then to Create to start with a new project that will open in the main interface. You can return to the Project Manager at any time by using the Home button in the bottom right corner. The interface is divided into several workspaces located at the bottom. We are not going to see all of them, but the most relevant ones you need to know as a beginner to get a complete final video. Let's start by importing media files with the Edit workspace. This can also be done from the Media workspace as well. Open the Media Pool panel and drag and drop videos, images, or audio files into it. Then, import these files into the timeline at the bottom. Close any unnecessary panels by clicking their names on the right and on the left to maximize the available workspace. Each media element appears as a clip. Video content is shown in blue color and collected on video tracks at the top, while audio content is shown in green color with audio waveforms and placed on audio tracks below. You can also record using your microphone. On the left side of the timeline, right-click and select New Track to create a new audio track, for example, stereo. At this point, click on Voiceover above and enter a name for the clip that will collect your recording, then the input device to use, and the target audio track, in this case audio 2. Make sure that no other sound content play back. If this is the case, use the mute button to disable the other audio tracks. When you are ready, start the recording. To stop recording, click the same button or use the spacebar key. Go to Timeline View options on the left to adjust how the timeline is displayed, including the track height. You can zoom in along the timeline by holding the Alt key and using the mouse wheel. This zoom is centered around the playhead, shown as a red marker. To scroll through the timeline, hold Ctrl or Command and use the mouse wheel. You can preview your content using the viewer on the right side. The viewer on the left shows the source media if you double-click on any clip. Click on the timeline to position the playhead, then use the playback controls below the viewer or press the spacebar to start playback. Press the spacebar again to stop. You can also click and drag along the timeline to move the playhead frame by frame forward or backward. To zoom within the preview, place the cursor over it and use the mouse wheel. In the bottom right corner, head to Project Settings, then to Timeline Format to adjust the preview resolution and playback frame rate, such as the number of frames per second. These settings affect only the preview and not the final exported video. Use Ctrl or Command and S to save your project, especially when a red edited word appears next to the project name. Now let's see how to edit clips with selection mode enabled. Click on a clip to select it, then drag it to move it along the timeline within the same track or in another one. New tracks are created if you place clips inside. If a video clip includes audio, both parts move together by default. To separate them, right-click the clip and disable Link Clips. This allows independent editing of video and audio. When clips overlap on different tracks, the clip on the higher track is displayed above the others. If clips overlap on the same track, the overlapping portion is trimmed. Use Ctrl or Command and Z to undo. To adjust the duration of the clip, drag from its edges and trim part of its content. To change the duration without trimming, you have to adjust the playback speed. Right-click the clip and select Change Clip Speed. Set a value below 100% to slow it down and extend its duration, or above 100% to speed it up and shorten it. You can also reverse speed and use pitch correction to maintain a consistent audio pitch. You can create quick copies by selecting a clip, holding the Alt key, and then clicking and dragging it. To delete a clip, select it and press the backspace key. To split a clip, enable the Blade Edit mode and click on the clip at the desired point. On the left side of the timeline, you can find several controls for your tracks. Use the lock button to prevent any modifications on a track until it is unlocked. The frame button allows you to hide or show the visual content of a video track. For audio tracks, you can use the Mute or M button to disable the audio output of the track, and the Solo or S to mute all other tracks except the current one. To remove an entire track, right-click on it and select Delete Track. This also removes all clips contained within it. In the top right corner, open the Inspector panel to adjust the properties for the selected clip according to its type. For visual content like videos and images, the Video section collects the Transform section, where you can adjust position, scale, and rotation. You can use the sliders, or double-click on any value to type directly, using Enter to apply. Toggle the orange button above to enable or disable a section, and the Reset button on the right to revert your changes. Ensure the playhead is positioned over the selected clip to preview its adjustments. Otherwise, you do not see anything applied. Additional controls such as pitch and yaw allow 3D rotation, while flip lets you mirror the clip horizontally or vertically. Open the cropping section to trim the visible area of the image from any direction. We will see the dynamic zoom in a moment, and under Composite, you can adjust the opacity, especially when clips overlap on different tracks. The transform, cropping, and dynamic zoom can be applied directly in the video preview, with the tools listed in the bottom left corner. Select the right one, make sure it is enabled, and interact with the preview. With a transform tool, you can drag the clip to reposition it, use corner handles to scale, and rotate using the central nodes. The crop tool allows you to adjust the visible area using its handles. With dynamic zoom, adjust the green and the red rectangles to create a smooth zoom motion animation between the green and the red zoom. When working with audio clips, open the Audio section in the Inspector to adjust the volume and use Pan to balance the sound between the left and right channels. You can also modify the pitch and open the equalizer to apply filters and refine the audio output. Now, let's take a look at the keyframes, very useful to edit clip properties in time. Select a clip, for example this one, and disable any tool acting on the preview. Then, open the Keyframes panel on the left. This panel groups several properties seen in the Inspector panel. Switch to Keyframe Curves to display the graph view. On the left side, enable or disable the curves you want to edit over time. For example, to animate the transparency of a clip, enable the opacity curve. Its envelope will appear on the graph, with the same white color of the circle next to opacity. Move the playhead to the beginning of the clip and save an initial value of 100% opacity by adding a keyframe. You can do this by holding the Alt key and clicking on the curve. Move forward in time to the point where you want to save the next value, for example 50%, and add another keyframe. Move further in time and set the opacity back to 100%. The several keyframes saved create an animation, where the opacity changes smoothly over time following the envelope curve. You can also select any keyframe and change its curve type for smoother transitions. To remove a keyframe, select it and press Ctrl or Command and X. To remove all keyframes for a parameter, use the Reset option for that property. To add effects, titles, or other elements, open the Effects panel on the left. Under Toolbox, Effects, you can find several visual effects powered by the Fusion Workspace. Other effects are collected under Resolve FX, though some of these are exclusive to the Studio version. You can also get effects for audio clips from Audio Effects. Hover over to any effect to preview it, and drag and drop it onto a clip to apply it. The clip will display an FX icon on the left corner and a new effects section in the inspector, where you can adjust the properties of the effect. If multiple effects are applied, they are listed in order. You can change their order using the up and down arrows, or remove any effect using the bin icon. Under Toolbox, you can find transitions for both video and audio clips. Drag and drop a transition at the beginning or end of a clip. You can also apply it between two adjacent clips if there is no gap between them. Select the transition to edit it using the inspector, such as its duration or appearance. To remove a transition, select it and press the backspace key. Under Toolbox, Titles, you can browse different types of text elements. For example, you can add a lower third by dragging it onto the timeline. This appears as an independent gray clip and should be placed above other visual clips to remain visible. Like other clips, text clips can be moved and trimmed on the timeline. You can also use the inspector to modify text content, color, size, font, and other text properties. Switch to Settings above to adjust the general clip properties, similar to what we have seen for other visual content. Once your video is complete, go to the Deliver Workspace to export it. First, define the portion to render by setting the in and out gray markers on the timeline. On the left, open the Render Settings panel and choose from several presets. Select Custom Export to set all video and audio settings. In the Video section, choose the file format, the codec, and the video size as resolution. To match the same preview settings, select Timeline Resolution or select a bigger resolution up to 4K. Set the frame rate as needed, such as the number of video frames per second, and adjust the quality options as bitrate. In the Audio section, select the codec and configure the data rate. If these options sound complex, you can also choose one of the predefined presets or platforms such as YouTube, Vimeo, or TikTok. If needed, you can select Audio only to export just the audio content from your project. At the top, enter the file name and choose the destination folder using Browse. Make sure the single clip render option is selected to export your project within the in and out range you have defined. At this point, click Add to Render Queue to add the project to the queue on the right. You can add multiple jobs if needed, and head to Render to start exporting. DaVinci Resolve does not add watermarks to your exported videos. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to check out our YouTube channel and website to learn more tips and techniques on video production completely for free. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. My name's Zach, and until next time, we'll see you later.